What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title's going out. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So look, I'm not even gonna lie. I ain't gonna say, because y'all know it's been a minute since I put out a Jasmine Crockett video. It's been a minute since I put out a Jasmine Crockett. Like I was saying, I'm not surprised on the things that she's been saying. And the videos that I'm about to show y'all, I'm definitely not surprised because it's like every time she gets in front of a camera, she says something, and I don't mean by like no means. I don't want to be mean. Y'all know I don't like doing that. I don't like talking about nobody. But things that come out of her mouth is just dumb, bro. Like it's for real, just dumb. The things that she says, I'm telling y'all. The next couple clips I'm gonna show y'all gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not even about to read this. I'm gonna just let y'all listen for yourselves.
The president doesn't want you to focus on things such as his involvement with the Epstein files. You see, the president doesn't want you to focus on things that he promised on the campaign trail, such as to lower costs for the American people. The president doesn't want you to focus on his failed secretary of HHS and the fact that we know almost 100 children thus far have died from something like measles. He doesn't want you to focus on the things that truly matter to the American people that are trying to survive now. Instead, again, he wants to divide and distract.
So she's claiming that President Donald Trump wants to divide and distract. Whenever since he stepped foot in, I'm gonna say, I ain't gonna say ever since he stepped foot in office. This was before then, before he even stepped foot in office. One thing about it, I feel like everybody knew Trump was gonna win. If you watching this and you didn't think that Trump was gonna win, I feel like you're delusional. I really feel like you're delusional because I feel like so many people that weren't, and this is factual. So many people that weren't with Trump a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that wasn't for Trump, that wasn't supporting Trump, anything like that, turned around and started supporting Trump because they start seeing that America obviously needs better, and the things they was talking about, the policies, just his whole administration and like things, just everything. So people started, and people are still, turning and looking Trump's direction. So when she says divide and distract, that's literally what she's doing, and the man behind her, and I'm sure the other individuals. We talking about Jasmine Crockett, Hakeem Jeffries, AOC. We're talking about these different people, especially the videos that the other videos that I'm going to be dropping today. Just seeing these individuals, and you talking about dividing, and then her talking about distracting. It's none of that at all. This is just something else for them to talk about because they have nothing to talk about whatsoever. I'm telling y'all, because everything that he's clearly doing is amazing. As y'all can see here, these are this is the top 20 U.S. cities, the highest violent crime. This is all Democrat, bro. Number 20 is that's Tulsa, and that's Republican. But it's at 20. By all means, crime is crime. I get it, but when you do have and when I'm saying it because y'all see Tulsa at 20, but then again you have major crime. You have the highest violent crime, bro. Like I'm talking about all types of crime, violent crimes. You got Memphis, Detroit, St. Louis, Baltimore, Cleveland, Kansas City. This is all Democrats, y'all. So when you have Jasmine Crockett saying things like this, these are things that they obviously need to get in order instead of, doing everything they can. Rather what it is, and the crazy thing is that Trump would do something, anything that they complain about, anything that they do, anything that they say, and get it done. And then it's the next thing. And then it's the next thing. It's ongoing. But then problems like this, like I said, you got Memphis, Detroit, you got all these Democratic cities. They doing nothing about it. Highest violent crime, I'm telling y'all. It's pretty crazy. So, like I said, I will be showing y'all another clip. This clip, I'm sure many of y'all have seen. If y'all haven't seen this is probably, I would definitely say this is definitely in Jasmine Crockett's top 3. I'm not even gonna say top 5. Top 3 of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I'm not even gonna lie, come out of her mouth. Check it out.
I want to be clear that, like, law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime, okay? That is what they're supposed to do. They are supposed to solve crimes, not necessarily prevent.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who this man is in the orange, but he know that's some BS. This woman right here definitely knows some BS, just based off of look at her face right here. Let me show y'all. Where's it at? She looks over, y'all. She looks over and smiles because she knows how ridiculous that is.
They're supposed to do. They are supposed to solve crimes, not necessarily prevent them from happening per se.
Then she tries to make herself sound smarter by saying per se. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the craziest thing I've heard. She said law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Like I really feel like that's probably the dumbest. I've never heard that before. They're there to solve crime. So somebody said truly one of the dumbest statements I ever heard made by anyone on planet Earth. I'm not gonna lie. That is probably, I don't know where she was getting at with this though. It's like everything that comes out of this woman's mouth, it does not make sense. And then at times, I'm not even gonna lie, it leaves you speechless because it's like you want to explain. You know, you want to sit there, you want to explain it. You want to sit there and get mad and be like, why would she say this? Because this, that, and that. But it's almost like it's common sense. It's common sense. Kids know this. Kids know that. And she talking about law enforcement isn't the premier. I'm telling y'all, bro. It don't even make sense. Let's hear it from a cop.
So I just heard an elected official, Jasmine Crockett, state that it is not law enforcement's job to prevent crime. With all the people down in Chicago last week, 50 people shot, 8 people with mass shootings happening, it disheartens me for her to say that. I'm not going to say anything disparaging about her. I know I can get a lot of likes and a lot of clicks and a lot of shares, calling her all kind of names. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to respectfully challenge her opinion. As a police officer, I did not sign up to be an after-the-fact entity in the lives of the people I serve. I did not sign up for that. I did sign up to prevent people from dying. You see, I'm an 80s baby. I'm a 70s baby, and I grew up in the 80s where people of color were getting shot down left and right. I would have loved to have seen a police officer, more police at that time. I policed in the 90s and the 2000s where bodies were dropping left and right. People were getting shot. I would have loved to have more partnerships, more officers to be visible and present to deter all those precious lives from the, it is my job to prevent crime. I don't want to show up after someone's child, someone's auntie, someone's grandmother got shot and they're laying in the street and their blood is running down the gutter. I don't want to show up after the fact.
But I feel like this also goes to show you that that's why it's important, when they're having all these major crimes happen in these cities and them not wanting National Guard. People, if you got National Guard, police officers, the law enforcement, going around and patrolling a lot of areas, the crime would go down. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like streets and stuff would definitely be way safer than it would. Like that's literally preventing crime. Like I'm confused, and that just goes to show you how sick a person can be by saying stuff like that. Literally by sitting there and enabling, and saying something so dumb like that. It's crazy.
I don't want to have to make the notification that their loved one is not coming home. I would rather be visible, meeting with the community, try to deter it, be at the flashpoints, be at the anchor points, be at the hot spots so I can stop people from being violently assaulted. And I would like for you, instead of taking the time to score political points against the president, to step away from your TDS just for a second and encourage more people to sign up and be law enforcement officers so we can be present, okay? So we can be present to prevent horrible things from happening in communities all across America, but especially communities of color, because I'm here for everybody. But I can't be blind to the fact that a whole lot of the crime is happening in communities of color. And we know, as a law enforcement officer, I know as a law enforcement officer, that the vast majority of the people that live in these communities are decent, law-abiding, hardworking people. But we also have to face this reality that there is a negative exception of those communities, of that same demographic, that have overly embraced a violent and dangerous culture. They have overly embraced it, and they're hurting people by the scores. And we have to be present. We have to deter it. So please, think before you speak. Stop playing games with people's lives. Get away from your Trump derangement syndrome for a second and see this as an opportunity to save lives. All right? Look, I know a lot of people are upset with the surge and the National Guard and all this stuff like that. But I'm sorry, when I hear that for 13 days straight, not one black person got in D.C., that brings me joy.
Come on now.
I don't care about the optics. If it works, let's do it. Let's do it to save lives. So please, I don't want to be an after-the-fact entity. I did sign up to prevent crime. I did sign up for that.
One thing about it that I absolutely love, though, is that more and more people are starting to understand, you know, the on why Trump is making the decisions that he's making. Even though that there's a lot of people that already know, you know, there's a lot of people that obviously love Trump, that support I'm talking about the hell out of Trump. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I understand that, but a lot of times it takes people to actually see. It takes, you know, them to see and actually, even though I'm not even gonna lie, like, I'm one of those that people that try to understand a little bit. I like to hear people speak. I like to hear people's opinions on things. I like to hear that, you know, and just to see, you know, that people are starting to understand more and more and more of why Trump administration are making the decisions they're making. It definitely make you happy, but at the same time, it takes people time. You know, I'm not making up no excuse for anybody, but it literally, I mean, we human, and a lot of people don't have it all together, you know, common sense wise. I mean, I'm not trying to talk about nobody, but a lot of people don't have it together. So just like this man just said, you know, I'm not speaking, you know, about this man, but I'm saying, you know, just for the simple fact of put all this to the side and actually think, you know, him just saying that, you know, for that long, you know, for a couple weeks that nobody was unalive, anybody, you know, nothing. It literally shows that works. That works. It's things that work. It works. It's things that should take place. You know, in general, it's not using, you know, the military against, you know, it's, come on now. They know what it is. It's common sense. We talking about criminals. They're not going and just taking people out of their homes and going crazy on people that's not criminal. Come on, y'all. Like people got to grow up, and people got to stop using this whole this victim thing, bro. This whole, like you said, this TDS. I'm tired of it, bro. I promise y'all, I'm tired of it. People for real got to grow up. I'm telling y'all, definitely got to grow up. Before we do, I want to show this video as well. Miller says that Dems are going to lose the midterms because of their stances on crime and public safety. Let's hear what he got to say on this, y'all.
Fundamentally hate America.
How do you explain New York City? And it was on the cover of the New York Post. We showed it earlier. You have 63 repeat offenders, 5,000 crimes combined. Of the 63, only 5 of them are in jail. Can you? It defies gravity. It defies any sense of logic, any sense of common sense that you might have been born with, to allow these people out on the street time after time after time after time. Now, the problem, too, is now the Democratic Party is institutionalizing these policies, and they're running on these policies. Look at Mamdani, the guy that's most likely going to be the new New York City mayor, if you believe the polls. Okay, this guy wants to take it to another level. So this is what I guess is now the platform of this radicalized Democratic Party. How does that play out politically?
Well, President Trump, I think, very correctly said that one of the biggest, if not the single biggest issue in the midterms next year is going to be crime and public safety. Democrats have turned these cities into hellholes, Sean. The 10 most violent, bloody, dangerous cities in America are all run by Democrats. Democrat city councils, Democrat mayors, Democrat politicians at every level. And it's not just the top 10. It goes much deeper than that. Every major city in America that is besieged by violence, mayhem, and bloodshed and narco trafficking are run by Democrats.
Exactly.
Look, this has become their religion. Celebrating criminals, celebrating predators, celebrating illegal aliens who prey on our citizens. Again, you talk about your example in New York City where the same people, they keep offending, they keep harassing, they keep assaulting, they keep getting released. We cannot call this simply misguided. We cannot call this simply stupid. It's evil. It is deliberate. It is malign. It is malicious. They know what they're doing. The judges know. The city councils know. The Soros DAs know. The Democrat governors know. They understand. If you release a monster will. If you release a savage will. If you release a person who has only known violence their entire lives, only committed violence their entire lives, they're going to keep on committing acts of barbarous violence. President Trump is saying, if you want to be safe, stand with President Trump. Stand with the Republican Party, because President Trump will fight for you, just like he's fighting here in Washington, D.C. every day. You have mothers whose kids were in previous years who said, thank God Donald Trump has come here to avenge this injustice and to keep thousands more mothers from having to bury their children. President Trump has said the Republican Party will fight like hell to keep your kids safe. That's the choice facing America, Sean.
So that just goes to show y'all that the people that's sitting here and supporting, voting for, these Democrats that's wanting this, people got to start thinking, bro. Would you rather, have these criminals out and doing whatever, in the streets, and not to say, you never know what your child is doing or what's going on, but your child couldn't be doing anything. What if they just not doing anything and then crossfire, anything like that? You would rather sit there and support this person and do this, do that, rather than supporting somebody that is trying to prevent, a lot of this that's happening, trying to make the streets safer, to where you should be able to, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. If my children was of age that they can, go to the malls here in Indianapolis or go downtown to a game or anything like that, I wouldn't be comfortable with that. I wouldn't be comfortable with that even if I went. Let's take out me not, being a YouTuber or anything like that. And nobody knows me. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. It's just like every time I do go out, I'll always, bro, like there's always somebody, and that bothers me. That too. But say I'm not, and I just want to take my kids, I still wouldn't feel comfortable. I still would have that because it's so bad. It's so bad out here. So people have to put that in perspective too. People have to actually start thinking, and realizing what's going on. And that's why it's so important, when you're looking at, this person that's running for this, or this person that's running for that. People have to pay attention. It is very important to pay attention. Everybody needs to and I keep saying it. Pay attention. Stop looking so much of, I don't like that person because they said that he's this way and he treats people like this and he don't like black people and he don't. Stop all that, bro. Actually think, because these same people that y'all supporting, oh yeah, girl, that girl, she wear a weave, she got long eyelashes, she in Congress, she doing this, she doing that. It's the same person that just said that, the video I just showed. So you supporting somebody that's literally wanting crime in the streets, and you're not supporting somebody that's trying to get rid of it. That don't make sense. I'm telling y'all, ass backwards. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe, and definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.